Okay, welcome back once again in Cappadocia. Welcome back to Starcraft 2. This is another Platinum League game, so this is me, obviously down here in the southeast. And up here in the northwest we have my opponent, which is Juicy Love. So this was a little game a little bit earlier on. Kind of following on from what I was saying the last time, this is something that happened in this one that I was actually quite pleased with. So, at the moment I've got the extractor trick done in order to just get my normal basic done. My opponent is going for the supply depot. Scary. What could this mean? Depot's done. There we go, straight into barracks. And very early gas. That's me. At the moment I've got my hatchery on the way. Got my second overlord out. I'm quite happily building drones, just droning up quite heavily. Okay, so while we've got a little bit of a downtime here, before anything major kicks off. So what's going on? I hope you all been watching and probably enjoying my EU4 campaign. I know I have been, so we're going to carry on with that again this week. And we'll see how far that takes us. I mean, obviously we've managed to get our way out of debt now, so we should be okay. But we'll have to see. We'll have to see. But it has been a really lucky one as well so far, so hopefully. I mean, if there's anything that anyone that's watching this actually wants me to put up on there, that, you know, games that they've seen me play before, CKT, EU4, more Starcraft, anything, just, you know, and ask, you know, like, all the worst I can do is say sorry, not at the moment, but, you know, we'll see. I mean, I play generally what I want to play anyway, but, you know, that's why I just put up what I want to play, and hey presto. But I don't think anyone will specifically ask me to do. I might consider it. Who knows, it might give me something that I haven't played in a while that I might be interested in playing. Okay, so Juicy sending out a Reaper. I'm sending over my Overlord just to have a quick scout. And they're going for a factory. Well, the Reaper comes and has a good old nose as to what is going on. And my Overlord is just slightly out of position, but this Overlord picks it up, so that's fine, we know it's coming. We've got 10 lings on the way, 2 queens, more than enough to get rid of this. Not that it's going to be that much of a threat. Throws a grenade out. Sends my little drone that's flying. 1 kill. And then, because of bad micro on my part, it's going to escape. But it has only got the 1 kill, so... And that's going to heal up as it runs all the way. Does a little piggy impression and goes wee 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 all the way home. Okay, in the meantime, this Overlord's just pulled back a little bit. Marine scared it a bit. And now GC's going for what we got here. Going for reactor to begin with us. An interesting choice. Personally, I prefer Tech Lab. So I'll keep my bot open again. I prefer Tech Lab personally, but that's just me. Okay, so now we're coming in. Grenades are out. We're going to try and stop this from building. Which we are going to do. We deny that. We're going to deny this as well. And we're going to force GC to pull back. Now, annoyingly, I can't get in here. Oh, if I'd have been a little bit quicker, I could have done. But couldn't quite get in. Reaper's going to be enough to drive me away just because I don't really want to engage right now. Okay, going for multiple... And the reactor, go for multiple reactors here. That's interesting. For anyone who doesn't know, the advantage of a Tech Lab is not only to give you advanced units, but it also gives you additional research. So, for example, Blue Flame for the Hellions, the claws, the lock-on ability for this. Going for Tech Lab on the starboard, so that would normally indicate cloaked Banshees, normally, unless they're planning to go for Terran Air. You know, superiority, so things like battle cruisers, ravens, things like that, which is a possibility as well. Obviously, battle cruiser, you need the fusion reactor. So, got a little helium. They're coming out just to make sure I haven't hidden any packages in the back for them, which I haven't. All my packages are quite happily hidden at the front. I was very late on my speed here. You can tell because this is almost built before my speed's done. But my Banian nest is now done. Got more lings in production. He's producing marines. I say he. I don't know whether it's male or female. But my opponent. So I'll just use a generic male term. Or they. There we go. Use the term they, that'll be better. So they are building. I'm going for an engineering bay at the back and banshees. There we go. Is he going for cloak? Not yet. That horrible squelchy noise means the banelings are on the way. Okay, so let's have a look. They've got the walls finished. But we're just going to do a good old-fashioned baneling bust. If I had more links, this would work better, but at the moment I'm busy double expanding, spreading my creep a little bit. Okay, so here we go. Good old-fashioned baneling bust. Just trying to wreck as much as we can. There we go. So we do an awful lot of damage there. Was it worth it? Yeah. Lost less units, but done more damage. Sorry, he's lost less units, and he's done a little bit less damage, but you know, when you consider exactly how much damage I did, that's, you know, he knocked off a lot of lings and a few banelings. Banelings blow up anyway, they're counted in that. But I knocked down his entire defensive wall, did a lot of damage up here, so now he's got to rebuild. If I could have blown up the barracks, that would have been even better. But, to be fair, these were non-speed banelings. There we go. Yeah, going for Banshee Cloak. But those were non-speeded banelings, crashing into stuff. So, yeah, you know, being chased back by Hellions. Hellions are always going to outdo them in that regard. But yeah, it wasn't actually that bad an attack at all, really. Okay, so we got... what am I doing here? Going for my hatch. Lots of lings. Building spore crawlers now. What's my opponent up to? Going for +1 vehicle, +1 infantry weapons. No defense though. And I'm quite surprised hasn't gone for blue flame. So obviously they figured out that going for pretty much Ling Bane here at the moment. Okay, so I'm producing lots of links, but I am also building more spores. Very useful because it means these banshees, basically they'll be spotted pretty much as soon as they're engaged. And it's not going for a 1-1 timing, which I'm quite surprised about. Realistically, what they should be doing, really, if you're going for this, is hold on until this one attack is in place before you commit. And at the moment, I'm just building my gateway. And they come. Nope, not getting in here. You're going to be driven away. The only thing is, they can come down here. Don't know why they don't. Okay, so now I'm in trouble. I'm trying to draw them back towards my spore crawlers. Okay, they start taking pot shots down here, which is what I really need them to do. I moved my spore crawler up to drive them away a bit. Okay, now I have an overseer. Which means that the Banshee's time is now pretty much done. They might get... That was really stupid of me. I pulled my cloak detection away. There we go. But it still can be seen. I'm losing a lot more than I really should for this. I shouldn't have allowed these Banshees to become this effective. That's on me. Because to be fair, my opponent wasn't microing them or anything like that, really. So that is entirely on me. I should have been a lot more proactive in hunting them down and destroying them. But, there you go. So now it's switched to 2. We have a tech lab somewhere. Oh no, one of these. Where is it? It's over here. So we switched over. This is what I was talking about. So you got blue flame. And things like that were really useful. Marching out now with mostly Hellbat, Marine, and a couple of tanks. Gonna move this down here. Couple of dropships. Medevacs. And we've got here another barracks and another factory. We've got 3-3, 3-3, 2 bases full. I've got 1 base full, 2 base full. Yep, 1 base full, 2 base full. And I'm now working on my 3rd base full. Plenty of lings. not much cash. My micro is actually, apart from gas, which I just couldn't spend enough of. But at the moment, my macro game is actually doing really well. It's my micro game that's the problem. Anyone not relevantly up to date with the term? Micro, basically micromanagement. You know, every unit perfectly positioned into every, you know, every way you're moving them at the right time, attacking at the, you know, with this specific unit, that, you know, that. So, you know, like, you know, half your units will attack that particular unit, half your units will attack that one, you know, things like that. I'm not very good at that, but my macro, my overall gameplay, keeping my money spend almost matching my income, I'm normally pretty good at. Obviously, in this case, I've got an awful lot of gas, nearly 1,000 gas bank now, but not as near as much as my opponent has. You know, nearly 2,000 gas, well, what's that, nearly 1,300 minerals, nearly 1,200 gas. And units at the moment, I'm building banelings. Not really going to help in this instance, but because I know what's going on here, this is what I was talking about last time, the thing where I didn't do because both me and my opponent got tech locked. This is what we needed to do. What I'm doing here is I'm switching out of Lingbane Muta, switching for roaches here, which will be very handy. Opponent now going for 1-1 and then +2 attack as well. I'm going to go for 1-1-1. Oh, missed that. But it looks like my banelings found the mark. There we go, we're going to call back. We've only got 5 Mutalisks. Not really worth it. We can't do that much damage. But the good thing about Mutas, when they appear, we have the Hydra Den as well. But the good thing about Mutalisks when they first appear, and that's roach speed as well, so, is that with a lot of races, they will immediately begin a lot of turrets. The TPM will begin to climb. You know, it's turrets per minute, and it will climb and climb and climb because a lot of people don't like Mutalisks. Mutas are not a bad unit, but they're not like the best unit the Zerg can produce. They do okay at their job. What they're good at is harassment. These are their natural foe. But look at this. He spent more on turrets than I've spent on Mutalisks. Mutas literally are just there, in my case, to hunt tanks. That's all they're there for. I don't build that many of them. If I really wanted to in the early game, get round the back here, just, you know, rush for an early spire and then come round. Mutas are good if they have the element of surprise. They can really do a lot of damage. But if you look at how many turrets he's building now, he's spent more on turrets than I have on Mutalisks. That's not quite so good. He's finally getting stim. That's really late. Stim is really, really important. Oh, the door is here. Let's have a listen in on what does GT Love see. Let's just pause this a sec and have a quick look. What does GT Love see? So GT Love knows about that. Knows about this base. Sees a little bit of what I got here and some of what I got here. What do I know? I know about all my bases, and I know about all of GT Love's bases. Power scouting. Let's have a listen. Might just have the... yeah, just got the standard. Complete. And here come my roaches. And a few banelings as well, colliding in. And he's going to eat the tank. Eat the Thor. Another tank over here. We're going to quickly chow down on that. We're going to quickly take out that. And that. And then we're going to back out, taking out these with us. Our opponent doesn't have an awful lot of units in their army. That is literally Juicy's entire army. Now at the time, I didn't know this. If I had, I would have just frog marched my way up that hill and killed everything. I mean, my army's not huge. This is it. And in production, got more roaches, and I've got two. Getting an infestation pit, and now getting some hydras on the way. I've also got hydra speed by the looks of it. What have I just built there? Oh, not a lot, nothing. Okay, no, it's just the eggs. Okay, that's cool. These guys are just about done. They'll end up moving up here pretty soon. Aha, more eggs in there. These are Ravagers. I haven't really shown these too much on the games that I've put up. I haven't been there, but there they are. Ravagers. These are Zerg siege units. Really potent little buggers. Basically giant roaches with a catapult on them, with a big plasma bio launcher on their back. And we're just waiting for these to get into place. There we go. You see, he can shoot over the top, but that's not his main trick. This is. Goodbye, tank. Get rid of that and pull back. There we go. Now, the sensor towers are blind. They're gone. Sensor towers produce an area around them. When one of my units come walking in, it basically has a red exclamation mark on the screen and on the map, so you can see where I'm coming. So the idea behind that is basically just remove them, make sure they can't see. Hydras, our old friends, we've seen them before. Very handy here. Reason why I've switched is basically because he's going for a lot more of a tech play than most Terrans I play do. Most Terrans just stick to bio, so Lingbane Muta works beautifully. This, on the other hand, not quite so. Okay, he has expanded over here, which I haven't picked up on. Or they have, sorry. The Liberator coming in. What am I up to at the moment? I've got my Spire still, I'm not building anything out of that yet. Getting another base up and running. I was short of minerals, now I'm not. So I really need to start ploughing some into that. Roach sharks. Okay, I wondered what gave them away, and now I know. There's a raven. I didn't see that. I didn't know there was a raven out. So I was trying to do some roach sharking. Here we go. We'll drop a few of those over. Really bust that up. Gonna pull back a little bit. Oh, there we go. That's when I knew about the raven. Was because of that missile. The what's it called? Armor, anti-armor missile. But yeah, basically makes these guys walking. Yeah, basically unarmored. They're basically walking dead by the time it gets to that. We've got a few more mutas, a couple of more mutas coming out, but mostly lings. Ling roach at the minute. Ling roach trying to corrupt a muta. Bit of an odd combination. And we're just going to hammer these guys down and then push straight into our own bile fire, which is really goddamn stupid. Because unfortunately that bile does actually hurt me as well. Okay, we're going to pop out a crap ton of lings. Going for Hydra range. Upgrades 122, he's on 22 bio, so we're doing well. 2 more starports on the way. Another barracks. Building lots of these. He hasn't got a lot of money now though. And why? He's not mining up here anymore. He is mining here and here, so he still has 3. What's the income like? Slightly in my favour. Not by a lot though. Okay, so here we're going to come knocking on the door. And when Roach Hydra starts knocking on your door, there's not much you can do. Banelings are going to come in and cause some damage here. I'm going to pull back. There we go. I mean, if I'd known that was pretty much his entire army, again I would have pushed in, but at the time I didn't. But at the moment I didn't feel that I could end the game here. So I was just holding back, holding on. Losses at the moment. Again, as Zerg you expect. I've never seen that before. Oh, he just fixed up his Widowman. How cute. Now these guys here, they can start long distance mining. But if he builds up here again, he could do. We'll see. He's going all the way up here. What's he? He's going for the high yield. So he's obviously decided that the best option now is to try and build the high yield. So I'm moving over here. I see this one here. I check this high yield. Why didn't I check? Did I check that one? I don't think that was the only high yield. I think I might have done. Okay, lose some lings. Never mind. Come in here. Problem is they can try and repair it all they like, but the DPS that I'm producing here is evil. Here we go. We're just going to jump on top of his army. Eat a few tank shots. Why not? But we've wiped out his production here. There we go, get rid of that. And we're going to kill that. There we go, use the corrosive bar to get rid of that. Almost got it. Not leaving that. There we go. And rather stupidly I'm passing all my reinforcements through here. Which is really dumb. There's something up with the music, it keeps coming and going. I completely forgot about this place. On this map, I swear I have. Okay, so production, 3-3 and chitinous plating. 3-3, even 3 even. I'm also getting up some of these guys. I have an ultra cavern. I'm also getting a great spire, just to be on the safe side. But now obviously this is going to tip the balance back in his favour of income. Biggest problem I've got, this one's now done, so I'm having to move down here. I'm however about to expand to here. I'm also just going to make holes through here. There we go, one base there. But yeah, so his income is now a lot better than it really has anyway. And he's expanding down here as well. Interesting. Okay. I'm expanding in the middle. Oh, look how close we are realistically. Base to base. That is stupidly crazy. What I should be doing, instead of having my troops just sat here, I should be checking this base. I should be down here checking this base. Flattening any production that he has. But instead I'm building ultralisks with chitinous plating. So pretty soon ultras are going to pop. I've got some more vultures on the way. Just going to quickly eat through that. Eat a mine hit. That's fine. He's building another raven. Let's have a look. Units. Again, very small army. This is it. Okay, we're just going to come down, quickly kill them. Corruptors make pretty light work of that. There we go. Now we have the big guys on the field. 5 armor, plus 3 attack. Yeah, they're big, they're slicey, they're very hard to kill. Okay, the reason I'm attacking this is I've seen you've been weakening this because of the damage to it, and I didn't want him collapsing this on top of my roaches. So I figured if I clear it, it's then, you know, clear. He can't get back onto it. He can't drop it down on top of me. What am I building? Oh, banelings. Got the little banies. Okay, I'm maxed, so now we're just going to make a big hole, and then we're going to push in. This ultra's going to take the first of the hits, but soon going to get stuck in. Don't care, hit all you want. We're making big holes. We're not producing anything just at the minute. Then again, at the moment, we really don't need to. As the old one says, I'm in your base smashing your stuff. Good game, well played. And it was a good game. I did enjoy that one. Now, the reason why I wanted to put this one up was what I was talking about in the last week, which is basically about tech switching, how I got tech locked. This time, I didn't. I did the right thing at the right time. I switched tech when I needed to. Instead of continuing with Lings and Banelings, I switched to Roach Hydra. You know, with Ravagers in there, did a great job until I could get my Ultras out, and this attack basically was it. By this point, even with this, there's nothing. You know, it did have a big old bank, but yeah. So what did I do well there? I recognised the threat, tech switched at the right time, expanded well. What did I do wrong? Creep spread isn't brilliant. Not patrolling these bases, letting them basically deferring these and not rechecking that this one was there. By doing that, I gave my opponent an advantage, which I really shouldn't have done. Which is not a good thing. Basically, if I should have been checking all the time. Check there, check there, check there, check there, check there, check there, check there. Keep when instead of having my army just sat here for ages, it should have been moving around, checking all these areas, just literally, patrolling around here, patrol back, forth, back, forth, back, forth, all the way across the map, and just make sure that none of these two were taken, none of these two were taken. Just keep them pinned back on 2 bases. That's what I needed to do, and I failed miserably on this instance. What did my opponent do wrong? Never had enough supply. Never built it. Just didn't build enough stuff. Had a huge bank, just not enough stuff. Getting up to the usable supply. If you've only got 37 supply, and 37 workers there, that's never enough. You need. In particular, I've got 63 workers. I've got 3 bases full. Now, admittedly, this one's going to be a bit shy always because this one down here, and the fact that I pushed them back, but. Still, you should never allow yourself to fall that low to worker count. And where most of them went was trying to fix up this planetary when it was here. I mean, that's the main base flown there. But when this was a planetary here, most of the SCVs working on it were taken out when I was attacking it. We should have just cut the losses and run. That would have been my advice. Losing the base, you can rebuild the base. Losing the base and all the workers could be an absolute pain in the arse. Especially when your opponent is spreading fast. Taking this up here is a smart move, to be fair. I was stupidly didn't check. If I'd have checked up there at any point, obviously it's dead. Well, that flies away, these are dead. But my opponent just did not produce enough. They had all the production facilities. I mean, if we have a look at, what's the... I never can remember the button for structures. T. Stupid. Right, so they had this. Weren't doing a lot with that. What upgrades did I get? So I did nothing with this in the whole time. Okay, fair enough. But 4 starports. Not many times left by this point. 4 factories, 5 racks. So realistically, they can produce 1, 2. So 5 marines a time. 3 random. Sorry, 7. 2, 4, 6, 7 marines at a time. They produce 2 tanks at a time. 3 tanks at a time. And 1, 2, 3, 4. Flying units at a time. Well, 5 flying units at a time. 6 depending on what that was before I blew it up. So they had lots of production facilities and plenty of cash. I mean, I've got more than them at this point in minerals purely because I can't spend it anymore. I'm maxed out. 200 out of 200. What do you want me to do? I physically can't spend it. Upgrades, yeah, I kept all my upgrades. Good. What upgrades could I have got here that I didn't? None. Could have gone in here, couldn't be bothered. Don't do for infestors. I wasn't going for infestors, so there was no point. So yeah, I kept up on top of my upgrades. My opponent was behind on upgrades. Still only 2, despite having all the research facilities in the world. So this was their problem, was that they just didn't. They had enough production. Their micro was pretty good at some stages, better than mine, but they just didn't build enough stuff and didn't build enough supply. They had all the supply depots they needed, especially ones up here, but I came crashing through, things like that. But they never got to the point where they could match my production, which is strange for a Zerg to say that. But for most of the game, after the start, the first big smash through, where I managed to make a nice mess of their wall and their front wall, after that their production never really caught up with me, because they let me spread. And as I said before, if you let a Zerg spread, especially to more than 3 or 4 bases, they are going to punish you. That is basically what was happening here. I had this base all set up, ready to go. This one would have been next. So yeah, it was just a case of that. Look, I'm ready to move again. This one's almost done. This one's starting to finish. This one's starting to go. So it would have been here. Then I'd have had to go and clean out these 2 really to take full control of half the map. Or I would have gone up here and or down here. Could have been anywhere, even there. If I'd have taken out one by that point, I'm spreading so fast it's not even going to be funny. But in this instance, they just weren't building enough to keep up with me. And like I said, it's a Zerg, that's very strange. Losses, by the end of it, they lost more than me. That big push through their main army helped. But, by the end of it, it's just a case of that their production was there, but they just weren't using it. Which is a shame. Because it was a really good game. I really enjoyed it. I think they did very well. I think that the APM was low as well. Active forces, not brilliant. Upgrades, we've seen. Units lost, there we go, we've seen that one. But yeah, just a case that they had all the production there. They just weren't using it. They weren't keeping up with me. A lot of time was dead production time for some reason. They had all the supply depots. Yeah, they could have called down the. They had the full energy on these orbitals. No scans, no supply drops. Supply drops are so useful. Yeah, another one down here. This is the other one from over here. They've flown this one away after it's finished. Yeah, that one's got most of its energy. It could have used supply drop there to get extra supply. You know, it's just dropped some mules by the looks of it. So yeah, lots of advantage they had, and they just didn't use any of it, which is very strange. GC, if you ever end up watching this, my advice to you: you've got all the basics here. I mean, your setup is good, better than I do when I'm Terran. Hell, I'm only I play Terran. I'm Silver. I'm useless with Terran, but you have all the production facilities. You have everything you need, and you had all the cash and all the gas. You could have produced a massive army to take this on. You just didn't do it. You're behind on upgrades, and it feels to me as if that first attack caught them off guard. They were struggling to fight back from there on, to the point where they decided, instead of counter-attacking or trying to stop me from spreading, they were so worried that I was going to attack again that they held back and held back and held back and held back. The only real attack they did, they got in here with 2 Banshees, which did a fair amount of more damage than they should have done, which was good on their part. But that's kind of how it felt, was that they're so worried that I was going to come back again that they just kept hiding and turtling up, to the point where then, after that first attack, I think the furthest out the map was on that counter-attack after I withdrew from here, where they came to about here. And then because the bio had pushed without the mech cover, they just got eaten, which is never a good thing. But that'd be my advice to you if you ever see this. For me, what do I need to work on? Like I said, creep spread was atrocious. There were lots of small mistakes from my part. Things like I said, that Banshee I should have covered off a lot quicker. Allowing my queens to get picked off one at a time like that, and then allowing my drones to be slaughtered, I should not have allowed that. But yeah, that's what I need to work on. Just a few minor points. The creep spread is my biggest bear. I mean, alright, I've done a lot better here than I have done sometimes, but I've got a creature that's been sat here for forever and a day. It should have been spreading. Same as this one. My creep realistically should be up here somewhere. Should literally be covering this entire map in purple, but I'm not, which I need to sort. But yeah. Anyway, like I said, this is a lead on from the last one where I said about getting tech fixed. This is a good example of what happens when you don't get tech fixed. When you're a bit more fluid, willing to adapt. I mean, GC did the same thing when originally for bio, switched to mech, and then switched to a sort of half bio, half mech strat. Whereas mine, mostly Lingbane to begin with, then into Roach Hydra, into Roach Hydra Muta, into, this sort of weird combination at the end. But anyway, again, I hope you enjoyed this one. I certainly did. It was a very good game. I enjoyed it at the time, so yeah, very good, very well played from my opponent. But yeah. So again, as I said, for this week, it's going to be mostly more EU4. We've got plenty to do with Castile. So yeah, again, I hope you enjoyed this one. But for the minute, I've been Cappadocia, signing off.